It's 4 o'clock on a Monday. You know what that means, don't you? No, it's actually Thursday. It's 4 o'clock on a Thursday, and it's time for Taxi's Quarantini Happy Hour. Oh, man. How are you guys? Let me say hello to everybody in the chat room. Make sure this is all working. Come on, fire up. There we go. All right, I need to adjust my audio. I'll be right with you guys. Hello, everybody. Today we're going to play a round of Did Taxi's A&R Team Get This Wrong? Output, external headphone port. Yeah, I've got it. Why am I not hearing it? Okay. I should be hearing it. Well. Anyway, hello, everybody. Good to see you all. I sound good to you. Yay. Okay. I was untangling a cable and realized it was 4 o'clock. Went, oh no, I got to start this thing. So I'm a little bit in disarray. There we go. There's the chat over there. I can get rid of this. And now you've got my complete attention. Yeah, so we're going to play around today. Did the Taxi A&R staff get this wrong? And I'll tell you more about that in a minute. The control room that you are looking at, it actually says the Hit Factory criteria on the monitor. This is probably like an 8 or 10-year-old picture, but that is the control room at Criteria Studio C in Miami. And that is the control room that I Shot the Sheriff was done in. Hotel California by the Eagles was done in there. The Bee Gees, Saturday Night Fever was largely done in there. The album that had Jive Talkin' on it was done in there. Just Fooled Around and Fell in Love by Elvin Bishop was done in there. A Stephen Stills album was done in there. I think it was called Illegal Stills. Just all kinds of great stuff. Here, I'll get out of the way a little bit, let you have a look at that. My friend Trevor from Criteria sent it to me. Back when I worked there, it had a custom-built MCI console. It was 16 channels in, I believe, and 24 out, but it was mainly a 16-track room, and that's what it was like when they did most of that work I just mentioned. The Neve console and the mauve color, I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they did those monitors up there. It's like, look at that. Not pretty. Anyway, I'm sure it's been remodeled again since then. Illegal Stills. Great album title. It was. The room still exists. I was in it about a year and a half ago, but I can't remember. I think that console is still in there. I think the mauve, purple monitors are gone. Here, I'll also show you. They sent me another shot. This is Criteria Studio E, which was not in existence when I worked there back in the 70s. And that's like one of the big mothership rooms. But Studio C is a pretty small room. The control room was kind of small, and the studio itself was kind of small. And back when I worked there, it had tons of carpeting and padding. It was a very dead-sounding room, but all that Bee Gees stuff was done in there. Can I tell us about the speakers or monitors? No, because those weren't there when I worked there. I don't remember what was there when I worked there. Those look a little bit like Westlake monitors, a little bit. I don't know. They might have been custom. I don't know. Let's see. Michael, you worked on a Neve. I've worked on Neves. 3 consoles that I've done almost all my work on were MCI 500 series consoles that were very popular in like 1975 or 76 or 77 until probably the late no, probably like the mid 80s. And then SSLs became very popular. Neves were very popular in Europe, but really started to become more popular in the States like 82 and on. So yeah, I've worked on all of them. I love large format consoles. They make you feel at home. Anyway, okay. So also I want to tell you, we have a keynote interview for this year's Taxi Road Rally. Do I have a drum roll? No, I don't have a drum roll. Anyway, I'm very excited. You guys are the first people to know this, but I found out, I believe it was yesterday, that Mary Ramos, some pronounce it Ramos, Mary Ramos, who is Quentin Tarantino's music supervisor and works on many other cool projects, has agreed to be our keynote. And usually it's kind of an icebreaker for me. Once the keynote says yes, then everything else falls into place. So I'm very, very excited to have her. She just works on a lot of cool stuff. And we, of course, we'll talk about her work on Quentin's movies as well. I just want to talk about the craft of music supervision. I think that so many people don't really think about it, don't really understand what film music supervision is like, and I think that they think that music supervisors are tastemakers or A&R people, and it's a different function depending on who you work with. But she's worked on such a diverse range of stuff. Even you know what she worked on? Happy Gilmore. She was the music supervisor on Happy Gilmore. Does it get any? I mean, yeah, there's Quentin Tarantino, and then there's Happy Gilmore. Which would you rather work on? Oh, man. Well, they are mood creators, but in many, many, many feature films, it's the director that's got the vision for the music, and the music supervisor is largely the person that's like, go get me this piece of music for this amount of money. What do you mean they don't want to do it for that amount of money? Well, make it happen. That's a lot more of what a music supervisor does. And it's only when and this isn't true 100% of the time, but it's largely true, only when they exhaust the possibilities that the director has asked for, can they then present other options that would be good replacements for those. So anyway, there you go. Yeah, she did work on Pulp Fiction. I think she was the assistant music super, the music coordinator on Pulp Fiction. I'm doing this from memory. And that's when they met and developed a relationship. And then everything after that, she's been the music supervisor on. And just as we all know, some of the most interesting and best music usages on films anywhere in the industry. Anyway, let's talk about today's main topic, which is... I got to get my headphones work here. I'm not going to be able to hear the music that I'm going to play today. That's a little weird. Anyway, so we got an email. My wife had reached out to a taxi member who's been a member on and off for almost the entire time we've been in business. His memberships were spotty for many years, and then for the last like 8 or 9 years, he's been a consistently a member all the time. And he got something signed to a film and TV publishing company through Taxi. And my wife reached out to him and said, hey, we'd love to know more. We'd love to include you in the newsletter. And he wrote back a fairly long but well thought out, extremely polite, not so much critical of Taxi, but frustration. He expressed his frustration, but very gentlemanlike, very calmly, which we appreciated. Expressed his frustration with the screeners not noticing certain aspects of his submissions. I'm going to swap windows here so I can see you guys better. There we go. So anyway, his name is Mitch Cantor. He gave us permission to play his music on the show today. Hopefully Mitch is watching. He was going to be out of his house. He lives on the East Coast. He was going to be he was out to dinner or something, but thought he'd be home in time. So hopefully you're watching this, Mitch. And now I am going to see if I can figure out how to get my audio working. I'm going to play the Taxi theme for a minute. It's so weird. Okay. That's no audio. This is so weird. Why do these things happen to me on important days? Let's try it now. Okay, there's that. There we go. I fixed the problem. I don't have to call maintenance after all. I'm so happy. Anyway, as I was getting ready to leave for work this morning, my wife was on her laptop, and she said, you should check this out. And she gave me the gentleman's email to read, and I read it, and should I have this person talk to him or that person talk to him? And I went, oh, crap. I've got a really busy day today. But you know what? I really don't have a show theme or anything in particular to do for today. So I'm going to address this, if he's amenable to that, on the show so that other people can learn from the experience. And we can find out if those screeners are doing their job right or not, because we always want to know that. So... all right, I'm going to read you some bits and pieces because it's fairly long. I've been working with Taxi on and off since 1992 at its inception. My goal over these 30 years has always been to find placements with my songs with artists. The two successes I did have were both with music licensing companies, which I do appreciate, but one of them, for example, has a catalog of over 50,000 songs, and the odds of my few songs being placed with them finding success is very small. So I spoke to him for a little while on the phone earlier today. It was really, really nice. We got along well. And I explained that, being in a catalog of 50,000 in film and TV is not unusual. And it's not like they're responsible for pitching 50,000, that it's more of like, hey, can you fill this order? Do you have anything that works for me? So it's a pull situation versus a push situation. Let's see. I'm scanning here to read you other stuff. More important to me, again, is finding a song placement with a serious artist. I have a number of submissions currently waiting for responses for this. For all of them, I've submitted 3 songs: Love's to Blame, Slumber, and Pull Up, 3 of what I consider my best songs I've ever written. And then he mentions the 3 listings that are upcoming deadlines, I believe. Oh, no. One had a deadline of August 1st, August 2nd, and August 10th. So they've all either been screened or just about finished screening. Probably all done. My experiences over the years, these type of listings have been strange. Although I believe the songs would find consideration, I almost never get them forwarded. And to me, the reasons given for not forwarding them are the strangest part. The reasons given almost always talk about the production of the songs. They don't like the bass drum, or the song could use more guitar. They really don't comment about the songs themselves. So I had Tom, actually, our head of A&R, our senior director of A&R. I had Tom pull out the listings and the critiques and his songs. What I can't do because of copyright issues is play you the references, and I would really, really love to play you the references so that you could listen to the refs and then listen to Mitch's songs, and then you would truly be in the seat of the Taxi screener. So let's listen. Here, I'm going to read you. This was the first listing he submitted to, which was, well, the first one I've got here. Taxi number S210720VS. For mainstream pop songs, the female vocals are needed by a cool European record label for several artists on their roster. Check this out. This label recently cut a Taxi member song for one of their artists, and they found it through a Taxi listing just like this. True story. Labels looking for mid to up-tempo songs could be found on the same playlist as the following references, and they are Build a Bitch by Bella Porch, Call on Me by Ray, R-A-Y-E, and Dumb Love by Mimi Webb. Please submit top-notch pop songs that could take this label's artist to the top of the charts. Your submission should have very memorable melodies, catchy choruses, and slick pop production. Any and all virtual instruments or sample used should be high quality and modern. Confident, well-performed vocals could be the final touch to get this label excited about your music. Then it explains the deal, which is not really pertinent to this conversation or this show. I think, yeah, that's all that really is. Okay, so all that's pertinent. Anyway, so the gist of what they're looking for is female vocals, mainstream pop songs. So let's have a listen. And I actually did what I usually do in these situations come up, is I will listen to the song, I'll read the listing, listen to the song before I read the screener's critique, because I don't want to jade myself into like, oh yeah, I'm looking for this. I don't want to look for anything. I just want to hear it in a virginal way. Music to Motion. The reason that we don't offer revision advice and allow people to resubmit something after it's been revised is deadlines. Could you imagine, if we got 421 submissions and 385 of those people got revision advice, and even half of those people, it should be 192.5, I think, those people are now going to send their stuff back in. We'd have to set another deadline a week later, 2 weeks later. It would just totally mess the whole everything. Imagine if an assembly line at General Motors, if people could go, oh, I think I'd rather have a pink car as it rolled out. No, you either have to have it or you don't. So there you go. Sorry about that. All right, so this song is called Slumber. The references, again, were Build a Bitch by Bella Porch, Calling Me by Ray, and Dumb Love by Mimi Webb. Frankly, I hadn't heard any of those three, but I did listen to them after the fact. And let's have a listen to Mitch's song, Where Did My Earbuds Go? There they are, buried under there. You guys ready? Everybody buckled in? No, other way around. Here we go. All right, this is Mitch's song, Slumber. Which, by the way, I want to let you know, he's a really good songwriter and his productions are really good. And let me go to Slumber and hit play.
Let me sleep. Let me dream in a trance. Come with me. Show me your imagination. Lay a path to my soul. And don't you know you are my infatuation? Your body I can't hold. And don't you know when we kiss and strip away our God on a canvas made of sheets, we touch and moan a melody with instruments of peace in the summer of the night. Let it burn. Summer of the night. Let our love ignite. Let it rise. Let it be. Close your eyes.
Okay, I'm going to stop it so I can play another song. I can't play the refs, otherwise YouTube will block this episode. I wish I could play those refs. I really wish I could play them. But some of you have gone to listen to them. DJ Finesse. By the way, this isn't the one that talks about the kick drum. That was in Mitchell's letter. He was mentioning the kick drum, which I think was on a submission, not part of what we're talking about today. So forget the kick drum thing, DJ Finesse. But you did go listen to one of the refs, and you pointed out that it doesn't sound like the ref. This song is also by Mitch and also very good. It's called Love's to Blame.
You got me anxious for your call. Don't wanna leave the house at all. Your touch is taking me places I never thought even existed before. Your love's to blame. Drives me insane when I hear your name. Your love's to blame. You make me lose my chill. I'm feeling you for real. If looks could kill, you're very serious. But lately I've been off my grind. Day and night you're on my mind. Your love's to blame. Drives me insane. Ooh, when I hear your name. Your love's to blame. Your love is to blame. Baby, you know your love to blame. Cause lately I've been off my grind. Day and night you're on my mind. Your love's to blame. Drives me insane when I hear your name. Your love's to blame. Your love is to blame. Your love. Baby, you know your love to blame. Baby, you know your love to blame. Your love to blame. Ooh, yeah.
All right, I'm stopping it just because we don't have that much time to do all this. So I think we're all in agreement that the production is excellent, the songs are well crafted. If everybody would be so kind, type in the genre that you think that those two songs best represent. Yep, Peter Rahill, no Gophers were injured. Okay, so we've got R&B, neo soul. This is more like R&B, and they want more Iggy Azalea. Soul, neo soul, R&B, retro R&B, R&B hip hop, soul, R&B, RV. What the hell is RV? R&B, soul, R&B or soul, R&B. All right, neo soul, hip rock. All right, R&B. Right, so I'm going to read the first line of the listing. Says mainstream pop songs, the female vocals. And I wish I could play you those references. Liz is getting them as fast as she can. Yeah, contemporary pop. There was nothing in there about any reference to any urban sounding stuff. So let's see what the screener said. Okay, I returned or forwarded this song because, and this is quoting the screener, returned because this is more of an R&B type song with electronic elements, and the listing is looking for contemporary pop songs. So, utterly, total agreement with you guys. Other stuff the screener said, which, the most important box on any critique is I returned or forwarded this song because. That is the summary. That's the singular reason. People don't get not forwarded. That's bad English. People don't get not forwarded because of a kick drum. The screener may mention a kick drum only because if it's worth mentioning, they feel like I should let the member know. In this case, the kick drum had nothing to do with any of this. No, I don't think that these are the right references, Liz. No, they're not the right references that Liz just put up there. This was for listing number S210720VS. Yeah, you've got the wrong one. So disregard all those references, guys. Okay, so again, the screener said, because this is more of an R&B type song with electronic elements, and the listing is looking for contemporary pop songs. Screener said, what I like most about this song is the cool vocal performance. I don't think anybody could argue with that. Vocal performance is great. I think you could improve this song by intro could use more production. Drum samples could be improved to sound more contemporary. Couple people in the chat pointed out that the samples sounded a little dated as well. That sounded cool, Michael. You should use code words more often. I used code. Anyway, so let's see. The screener under the checkoff boxes said the style of genre is off target with the listing request. I would have to agree with the screener on that. The mood is off target with the listing request. If you were to hear the references, you'd go, okay, I get that. And production not strong enough to help sell the song. Well, if you're trying to sell, slightly retro R&B or some version of R&B, something, in the urban music category, I'm not sure if the screener meant that the production is not the kind of production they were looking for, or if the production wasn't strong enough. I'm really not sure, but it's a moot point because it just didn't fit what the listing asked for. So this is something that happens all the time. And I got some background from Mitchell. He was very forthcoming, very nice in the conversation, and told me that he uses Florida's keyboard player, I believe, produces some, or if not many of his tracks. And you can hear that there's real talent in the production of these tracks. I don't know what year they were produced in. Mitch, if you would type in what year these things were recorded in. And now I'm humming something. (2019). Okay, so not long ago. This was like, a year and a half ago or so. I'm looking for other stuff now. And on the second song we heard, Love's to Blame, the screener said, return because this song has more of an R&B vibe and the listing is looking for pop songs. Same thing. What I like most about the song, interesting vocal chops in the intro. And then I think you could improve the song by verse and pre could use more production to hold the listener's attention. Maybe chords of some kind. Snap sound is a bit loud, may be distracting to the listener. Okay, so nothing earth-shattering there. Style genre is off target. Mood is off target with the listing request. Some instrument sounds or samples sound dated. And I think that's it. So what I gathered talking to Mitch before was that he goes to an outside studio. He's really determined to make something happen and clearly has done his homework and worked on his craft and clearly spending money producing these tracks. But submitting the same tracks to most, if not all, the listings he's submitting to. So it's a classic case, in my opinion, as somebody who's been dealing with this stuff for 29 years, of square peg, round hole. I've got this thing, and I think of it as R&B pop, and I don't know if Mitch actually had this thought, but I think of it as R&B pop, or I could hear it on pop radio, or the song is just so strong that they would hear it in this form as R&B and go, well, I could hear how I could make that a pop song. The problem is with that line of thinking is that the other material they're getting is not in the wrong genre and would have to be reworked. So you're automatically competing at a tremendous deficit because the other stuff that the artist, the producer, and the A&R person at the label are hearing and deciding what makes it to the record is stuff that is exactly in the right vein. The days of submitting, for instance, would anybody submit a country song for an R&B listing? No, I mean, you could make the argument, well, you could hear how it could work. You could, but people won't. That's just not the way the industry really operates anymore. It was always kind of a bad move. Now it's a seriously bad move, so I wouldn't do that if I were pitching. So, as I've said on the Taxi 101 videos, as I've said on the new member Zoom things, the best way to get forwards from Taxi is produce stuff that really fits what the listing is asking for. But if you're not really strong with a home studio, if you don't even have a home studio and produce your own stuff, then it's pretty impossible to do that. And the cost really adds up if you're paying an outside producer, an outside studio to do it. Mitch said in his letter, they really don't comment about the songs themselves. Well, they do, in that they said it's not the right kind of song. And there's no point in going through any sort of song analysis at that point, going, I would put a bridge in here, or the chorus is too long, or the chorus doesn't pop enough. Whatever the comments would be are kind of moot points because the song just simply doesn't work for what the listing asked for. I made a note on here, pitch in the artist style. Yep. All right. So in this case, give me a +1 if you think the screener got it right, a -1 if you think the screener got it wrong. Let's try another control room while I'm waiting for the votes to come in. Let's go. Where is it? There it is. Let's go to Studio E criteria. All right, so everybody, I think, I haven't seen a -1 come in yet. Everybody thought that the screener made the right call on that one. Okie doke. Now, let's move on. I've got several of these. I don't know how many I'm going to have time for. This was the one I just did. Dummy. Get it together, Mikey. Mitch says that most of his submissions lately have been for R&B. All right, the ones that I don't think I've got any. Maybe those are the ones that haven't been screened yet. Okay, so all the ones I've got are for pop R&B, or for pop, sorry. And these are the past listings from early in August, late July, early August. Okay, so wake up, computer. Oh, crap. All right. So here's another one. This one is modern pop songs with female vocals are needed by a major label A&R executive for a huge Grammy-winning artist on her next album. The artist is looking for mid-tempo songs that could fit on the playlist. Liz, I'm going to give you the listing number now. Please write this down and go grab links if you could. Taxi listing number S210809NK. That number again is S210809NK, as in Nancy and Keith. Keith LeBrant. Rhymes with Lou Grant. Okay, so once again, modern pop songs with female vocals needed by a major label A&R executive for a huge Grammy-winning artist working on her next album. Artist is looking for mid-tempo songs that could fit on a playlist with the following references. Just Give Me a Reason by Pink, featuring Nate Royce, I'm guessing. Ruiz is his last name. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. Or I'm probably mispronouncing it. Next song is Elastic Heart by Sia. And the last one is Million Reasons by Lady Gaga. I love that song. Love that song. And I made a note that the Sia song has a very similar chorus to Million Reasons. Although one of the references has some male vocals, please submit songs with female vocals only for this request. No duets, please. Please send well-crafted pop songs with captivating melodies, soaring choruses, and excellent lyrics. Your production and any virtual instruments or samples used should be of high quality and modern. Expressive, well-performed vocals could be the cherry on top. This artist is looking for songs that could land her on the top 40 charts now. Give her that. Your recording quality needs to be clean, clear, blah, blah, blah. None of that really is that applicable here. Okay, so the songs that were submitted for that is the song Slumber again. So I'm going to play a little bit of that one more time to refresh your memory.
Let me sleep. Let me dream in a trance. Come with me. Show me your imagination. Lay a path to my soul. And don't you know you are my infatuation? Your body I can't hold. And don't you know when we kiss and strip
Okay, so you remember that song.
away our God on a canvas made of sheets. We touch and moan up.
And the other song, same song, was also Loves. It says Loves to Blame, also submitted for this.
You got me anxious for your call. Don't wanna leave the house at all. Your touch is taking me places I never thought even existed before. Your love's to blame. Drives me insane when I hear your name. Your love's to blame. You make me lose my chill. I'm feeling you for real. If looks could kill, you're very serious. But lately I've been off my...
Also want to let you know that the screener on this is a gentleman who is signed as a pop act to a major label. So he knows, current major label pop. He got signed to a record deal with a big damn label, and we're lucky to have him screening here for a while at least. So let's see what the screener said. And this is regarding where is the page is printed out strangely. This is regarding the song Slumber, the first one that you heard. Okay, so The screener said, I returned or forwarded this song because, quoting here, once again, great work, but it unfortunately does not fit the listing requirement of mid-tempo pop song. What I like most about the song, really cool synth parts and vocal harmonies. The drop is awesome too. Clearly the screener paid attention. I think you could improve the song by, just like the last song you submitted, this has such a great vibe, but it unfortunately leans more toward R&B soul and isn't the listing requirement of a pop song. The drum beats, timbres you chose here really is the culprit of swinging it more R&B. So perhaps swapping that out for a more pop loop like the listing suggestions would help for this. Also want to mention, I saw that Mitch mentioned in the chat that, well, I submitted for some R&B stuff. I'm sure you did. Unfortunately, Tom, our head of A&R, just gave me the last 3 things that you submitted that haven't been screened yet because he wanted to be current. I'm sure I'm reading his mind here, but pretty sure that's what Tom would do. And so all I've got is what I've got. I can't just go into the database and start pulling songs and printing out things, all that. We've only got 18 minutes. Anyway, screener mentioned Off Target. And then regarding Love's to Blame, the screener said, great song, but it unfortunately does not meet the listing requirements of mid-tempo pop, all of the references. I like the vocal harmonies in the song, very cool chord progression. I really like the vibe of the song, but the song has more of an R&B soul edge to it, and the listing is looking for mid-tempo pop. Perhaps swapping out some synth timbres and drum pattern for more pop-leaning loops would help it feel more mid-tempo pop for this listing. So, same problem. Screener's not saying you suck, that's for sure. Screener's actually being complimentary. But I've got to say, I know a million reasons. That song just, this isn't in the ballpark with Million Reasons. If everybody who agrees the screener got it right, type in a +1. I'm curious to see if any of you, you're welcome, Mitch. Thanks for letting me do it. You know, it's like, clearly, I think you know me well enough from our brief conversation and from what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm trying to help you and other members just be more cognizant of pitching the right material. Sometimes you may, sometimes you may not. And just the 3 that were almost picked randomly, because Tom probably just gave me the most recent 3 that haven't been screened yet. Great material, just not the right pitch. And it is old school music industry thinking. I can't say that it never, ever happens, but the chances, you minimize your chances of success dramatically by not pitching them what they asked for, by pitching them something else and asking them, well, can't you just imagine how this would be a straight up pop song? You're walking in, it's like if they're casting actors in a movie and they're looking for sexy blonde bombshell types, and somebody walks in with brunette hair and librarian glasses on and does not fit the description of bombshell. Maybe the people making the decision, the casting director or the director might look at this person with auburn hair, brunette hair, and Marion the librarian glasses, and think, oh, I could imagine how she would look in a blonde wig and a sequin gown and get rid of the glasses. Why make them work that hard? Make it obvious. That's what you want to do, is just make it like, holy crap, I can see how this would work in a heartbeat. All right, so I got a bunch of +1s on that. Everybody seems to agree with the screener. Okay, DJ Finesse says, I imagine Jill Scott on that song, and you would be correct. If we had a listing for Jill Scott, I would forward that. Don't let mechanic do your open heart surgery. There you go. All right, let's do one more of these. I'm trying to find one that doesn't have these same songs submitted. This one actually does have the same song again. This is another one, chart-worthy pop songs for male or females or group vocals needed by a major label A&R executive for an international pop group working on their debut album. I'm not gonna... Well, the references were Ava Max, My Head and My Heart by Ava Max, Kill This Love by Blackpink, King and Queens by Ava Max, and How You Like That by Blackpink. And I did go check out those references, and I know because I've heard Love's to Blame many, many times already today that it's just not right. I will tell you, you know what? I'm going to move on to another one that's more of a rock thing or a retro thing. Much Bigger Chorus is something that I wrote down to all these refs, or next to the refs, is the refs all have big anthemic choruses. Oh, and quoting the A&R executive, we want to hear songs with anthemic pop melodies, bold chorus hooks, and dynamic modern production. Your submission should be brimming with personality and have a subtle edge to them. Subtle is italicized. We really love how melody-based Ava Max's tracks are and the rhythmic edge of Blackpink. So this is the major label A&R person saying, these are the two things I like about these artists. Mash them up and you've got what I want. Mash them up and my earbuds won't stay in. I hate working with two earbuds. I feel like I'm trapped in a room. So Mitch submitted Love's to Blame Again, which is a very cool kind of sexy R&B song. But it doesn't have the big chorus. Liz, never mind. I was going to have you pull up a link to My Head and My Heart, but I don't think we need it. All right. Moving on to the last one because I've got 12 minutes. All right. This one, original 1965 to 1971 style pop rock songs with male or female vocals are needed by an indie label with major distribution. The client is currently on a hunt for songs to include in one of their incredibly popular compilations. The label's looking for original mid to up-tempo songs could be found on a playlist with the following references that we got directly from the label. And the references were One by Three Dog Night, which is One is Loneliest Number, The Letter by the Box Tops, classic, and Moni Moni by Tommy James and the Shondells. Moni Moni. Quoting label, the vocals must be top-notch. Big harmonies are a plus. The record label would prefer to hear original vintage pieces that actually date back to the late 1960s with reasonably good sound quality. They will also consider recent recordings. However, they must authentically sound like they were recorded around the same time as the references. They're not looking for in-the-box Pro Tools projects that sound like they're recorded recently. They want to hear raw and real performances by authentic musicians, as opposed to inauthentic musicians. Hate those. Please submit great pop rock songs that could transport the listeners back to the late 60s. Your submission should have great melodies, engaging rhythms, and instantly memorable choruses. Instrumentation that's in the vein of the references will suit your submissions best. If you're planning on using any virtual instruments, they need to sound like the real thing and not stiff or synthetic. Super compelling, well-performed vocals, nothing pitchy, please. That capture the style of the era are essential for nailing this pitch. Please be sure that your vocal performances are spot on if you want to get this label excited about your song. Okay. So Mitch submitted not the R&B songs, which I was very happy. And this is the first one. It's called So Hard to Catch.
So
Okay, that was So Hard to Catch. And the next song is With a Confident Roar. Let's have a listen to that one.
There's a little in you and a little in me and a little in everyone, just trying to break free, trying so hard, trying so deep, try all the time, awake and asleep. Let it build inside. Raise your confidence high. Don't be shy. And you will open the door with a confident roar. And we'll soar so high. You have it in you, and I have it in.
All right. How many people think that both of those songs or either of those songs sounded like they were from the 1965 to 1971 time period? Give me a +1 if you think they match that era, a -1 if you think that the submissions did not match that era. I thought that first song was straight up Pat Benatar, personally. Somebody mentioned that in there. I was surprised that some of you guys were spitting stuff out. They went, really? You think it sounds like the Eagles? Come on. All right, so we have a lot of agreement that it didn't match the era. Let's see what the screener said. Okay, this is regarding So Hard to Catch, the first song we heard that sounded like this. Okay, that's that one again, So Hard to Catch. And the screener said, I returned or forwarded the song because the song's classic rock style is off target when compared to the 60s songs that were noted, other issues in checked boxes. And the checked boxes said the style of genre is off, the mood is off target, instrumentation not engaging enough. I thought the instrumentation was appropriate for Pat Benatar or stuff like that. Or Danger Zone, as somebody said in there. Ken Mesford said Danger Zone. I love it. Kenny Loggins would be very happy. Recording and production, not high enough demo quality as requested. I disagree with the screener on that. It said that the demo quality should be era appropriate. It's just not era appropriate to what they asked for. It is era appropriate for the 80s, but it does. I'm curious, Mitch, was that taken from a cassette and turned into an MP3 from a cassette? I heard that, thought I heard that at some point in the song where I could actually hear the phasing that you would get, like when a cassette tape rides up on the heads a little bit. And somebody else mentioned that as well. All right, and production not strong enough to help sell the song. Well, it was inappropriate for the genre, so that just kind of killed it. And then with a confident roar, roar. There's a little in you. Okay, the screener said... by the way, does anybody think that fit 1965 to 1971? Screener said, I returned or forwarded the song because the song was not a stylistic match when compared to the 60s artist songs that were referenced. What I liked most, the melody lines had listener appeal, good vocal arrangement, engaging, and original lyric. I think you could improve the song. The song's recorded sound lacked vintage 60s warmth and depth. Vocal was also too prominent in the mix. I can't tell you who the screener was on this, but I can tell you that the screener on this was actually a member of an iconic band from the 80s. And don't blurt it out if you figure it out in the chat room. But I can tell you that the screener on this was somebody that literally there's probably not a person anywhere in North America, if not the world, that wouldn't recognize a song that went global for that act. And this person is a key member of that band who screens for Taxi when we can get them. So we tend to put him on stuff like this. We put him on custom critiques because he's really good with those. We put him on classic rock stuff or 80s rock stuff or older rock stuff. He really knows what he's talking about. He's actually very well versed. So there's that. So anyway, all this to say, first of all, I really, really, really appreciate you letting us play this stuff, Mitch. It takes courage, you know. I mean, I'm glad that people in the chat room were respectful. They should be. Really, really glad that that the screeners, you know, I do these things, and believe me, if a screener was like, what the hell were you thinking? They would get a stern lecture tomorrow. But it's always reassuring to me that the screeners do seem to be on top of their game. And Mitch, just keep writing, man. But I'll tell you, I know that you're retired, and maybe that means you've got a lot of time on your hands. The best advice I could personally give you would be get yourself a digital audio workstation, use, you know, whatever, Pro Tools, Logic, whatever. Learn how to use it well and take what's in your head and learn how to get it on tape so that you can direct the sound of what you're doing and then maybe hand it off to other people. But the point is, you really want to try whenever possible to write to the listing. That's the best way to go. Almost all the Taxi members who are successful would tell you that. I think 100% of them actually would tell you that. Anyway, thank you for sharing your music and your talent and being a gentleman and being generous in spirit and for making great music. And thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, today is Thursday. Monday, I'm not in the office, so there will not be a Taxi TV. Where's my book? Tuesday, August 24th, there will be a Quarantini Happy Hour. But Thursday, August 26th, there will not be a Quarantini. Reason being, I am in crunch time now on the road rally, and I'm just, I need a lot of time. There's just a lot of stuff I need to get done. There will come a time, hopefully, where I get all this startup stuff done, and then I can have a little more time and go back to my 2 Quarantinis a week and the Monday Taxi TVs as well. But right now I'm dealing with getting the sponsor stuff together so that the sponsor guy can go out and sell sponsorships. What else am I doing? I'm finalizing what I want the panels to be. I'm juggling some people that said they wanted to be on a panel, and now they're like, well, I can't do that day. That's that. Oh, I've got one other little surprise for you guys. Don't go away. Stick around. I'm going to show you something really cool, and it comes with a story. All right. I'm back. Okay, so this story that I'm about to tell you, I think I might have mentioned it on Taxi TV or one of the Quarantinis a long time ago. This story took place probably 15 or more years ago. The hotel that we hold the Taxi Road Rally at is the Westin LAX on Century Boulevard. So very early in our relationship with them, I had heard some rumors that one of the staff members at the hotel had a little dalliance with former President Bill Clinton. When presidents fly into Los Angeles sometimes and they're doing a quick, like overnight or something, and they don't maybe need to be downtown, they will put them in the presidential suite at the Westin LAX because it's very close to the airport runway, number one, and number two, it's got a big patio, which is a great place to put Secret Service people. So anyway, and I'm sure they blocked off the entire floor. So I don't want to leave anything out. So President Clinton shows up at the hotel, and the general manager and a couple of key people meet him. How you doing, Mr. President? Thank you so much for staying here, blah, blah, blah. And they take him up to his room, and the general manager says, President Clinton, and this is while he was still in office and shortly after, not long after the Monica Lewinsky incident. And the general manager says, is there anything else we can help you with? He says, yes, actually, and I'm not even going to attempt to do a Bill Clinton voice, although I can hear it that way in my head. I would like a stenographer. And the general manager of the hotel says, no problem. We will find you one and get the stenographer cleared with the Secret Service. And he goes, well, actually, I was thinking about that stenographer with the short blonde hair standing by the front desk when I walked through the lobby. Oh, that's not a stenographer, Mr. President. That was our vice president of sales here at the hotel. And he goes, well, that's who I'd like to have as my stenographer. So I actually happened to know this lady because this is who I was dealing with on, getting our contract together to do the road rally there. And I got to know her fairly well. And the night that I checked into the hotel, she came up to the presidential suite, knocks on the door. And, hi, Michael, we're so glad to have you guys here. Here's a bottle of wine and a cheese plate and a candy bar or whatever. And I said, look, I've got to ask you. And before I could even finish the sentence, she goes, you've heard the rumor, right? And I went, yeah, I have. It was a little awkward, but she didn't seem to be uncomfortable at all. And she goes, just wait, I'll be right back. And she takes off down the hallway. I shut the door and I go back to watching TV or whatever I was doing. 5 minutes later, knock on the door. I open the door and she's standing there and she hands me this. Presidential seal. Oh yeah, I forgot about the green screen. Doesn't like this color. And on the back is aboard the presidential aircraft. And so I said, so let me get this straight. You had a dalliance with the President of the United States and all you got was a matchbook? And she said, no, you've got the matchbook. I got the ashtray. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, man, you can't make this stuff up. Anyway, I was looking for something in our house a couple days ago, and this fell out. It was stuck. I've been looking for this for years, like literally 10 years or more, and it was stuck between a couple of sweatshirts shoved into a shelf. And when I pulled them out looking for the little box that I was looking for, this fell out, came on the floor. So I thought I would show that to you. Hope you enjoyed that story. I mean, come on. How many people, maybe, I don't know, maybe they sell these, at the White House gift shop or something, but those are right from Air Force One right there. Pretty cool, huh? With that, I bid you a fond farewell. I will not see you on Monday, but I will be back on Tuesday. Thanks for watching, you guys. Take care and have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Yeah, click that like button, especially if you like that last story.